All right, so this is going to be a quick trade recap for a London play for my London traders. I know all the education out there is biased towards New York traders, but it's good to show something that's London based because there's a lot of opportunities that form pre-London or just as London opens, right? If that's the case, you don't even have to trade the Open or New York Open. So Cypher printed the zone to buy from. The only thing I was looking at is what forms at this level, right? If I'm looking for buys here, the easiest entry model, and the entry model doesn't really matter as much as people think, right? So the entry model is important if your zone is not going to hold, so just keep you out of bad trades. But if you're confident about zones, in certain zones of higher probability than others, the zone that Cypher has drawn here, I was confident that there was going to be at least 20 to 30 point long setup that will form here. So what is that going to look like? We push lower. We push lower and instantly this FEG or this gap prints. This gap is not an imbalance. It just tells you that buyers are in control. What I want to see is closing below 50% off this buying zone here. We close below 50% of the buying zone. This could be a quick scalp, and this is actually a trade that I took, right? Using 2 a.m. open as just a injection of volatility for it to push in my direction, right? But why is this low being swept not important? This low being swept isn't important because I want a close below minimum 50% of this zone first. If I want to close below minimum 50% of the zone, this is the candle that does the closing. Then we print this low. So I'm only looking at buyers stepping in after those lows have been swept. Those lows get swept there. What tells you in this move down that sellers are in control? Because all this is going up and down is buyers and sellers, right? Battling for price levels. This going down here is, can you see where these gaps form? All right, I'm going to make a whole new video about this, but these gaps form, that's important, right? This gets swept, and then we have buyers stepping in. How could we see buyers stepping in? We can instantly see a gap created. All that tells me that there's velocity on the buying side. Now, all I need to do is buy the retracement, or if you don't worry about retracements, you're just getting in long here. So this was essentially the trade. I did not trade anything else after that. Buying zone, waited for some sort of entry model at the buying zone and trade. Things on YouTube will tell you there's probably other people out there that can explain entry models better than me, because I personally don't care about entry models. I care about these buying zones. On a personal account, I don't even have a stop here. I will buy as soon as this closes. I'm fine if the sweep's done. There's just a place to add. That's how confident I am in certain of these zones. Certain zones, rather. Some zones are more important than others because they're confluenced with other things that happen in price. And I'm going to be making a video on those other things that happen in price as well. Okay.